Welcome. Today, we're going to dive into something pretty huge. It's this core idea that there's a direct line between what's going on inside your head and the actual life you end up living. We're going to explore this really fascinating framework that shows how our thoughts, step by step, literally build our destiny. All right, let's get into it. So, let's just start with the big question right out of the gate. Are your thoughts right now actively shaping your destiny? I mean, it's a massive question, right? And the answer, it turns out, is a definite yes. But hold on, this isn't about some kind of magic or wishful thinking. Nope. It's about a clear psychological process that we can actually understand. You've probably heard some version of this famous saying before. It's talking about the end result. But the most interesting part isn't the destiny itself, it's the journey. How in the world do we build a character that sets our destiny in motion? Well, it all starts with something much, much smaller. And here it is. This is the whole process. Lay it out like a chain reaction. It all kicks off with your thoughts and the words you use. Those directly push you toward your actions. Now, repeat those actions enough times, and boom, they become habits. And your collection of habits? Well, that solidifies and becomes your character. And like we just said, it's that character that ultimately decides your destiny. So the big takeaway here is, your destiny isn't some random thing that just happens to you. It's the result of a chain you've been building all along. Now, seeing that chain of events is one thing. But to really get it, we gotta look under the hood and understand the why. Why does it even work this way? Well, the answer is all about your brain's fundamental operating system. Let's take a look at how that thing runs. So here's the first core concept. Your brain doesn't see the world with fresh eyes every single moment, not even close. Instead, every new piece of information, everything you see, hear, or feel, is instantly checked against this giant internal library of your past experiences and subconscious memories. It's like your brain is constantly asking, hey, have I seen something like this before? What happened last time? And this leads to a really critical question. If someone's internal library is just packed with mostly negative experiences, what do you think their subconscious mind is going to default to? The answer, of course, is more negative thoughts. Their brain is just using the data it has, so it starts to anticipate and react to new situations with a negative slant. This is the very root of those negative thinking patterns. But the brain doesn't just use the past for reference. It also actively filters what's happening right now. I mean, it just can't possibly process the billions of bits of information coming at it every second. So to make sense of everything and just stay sane, it takes shortcuts. And these shortcuts basically happen in three main ways. First, your brain just deletes information it decides isn't relevant to what you're focused on. Poof, it's gone. Second, it can distort reality to make it fit better with what you already believe. And third, it generalizes. It'll take one single event and turn it into a universal rule, like an always or a never. And the crazy thing is, these filters are running all the time, constantly shaping what you perceive as reality. So, we've got a brain that's constantly referencing the past and filtering the present. What's the long-term result of this process just running on a loop? Well, this is precisely how our deepest beliefs get formed and then reinforced over and over again. So, what exactly is a belief in this context? It's not just a fleeting idea. It's some piece of knowledge or an experience that we've run into again and again and again, until our brain finally goes, okay, yep, that's true, that's a fact. The key word here is repetition. It's that constant exposure that hardens an idea into a core belief, which then goes on to shape your personal reality. And what's so crucial to understand is that this process is completely neutral. Your brain isn't sitting there judging whether a belief is helpful or harmful, good or bad. It's an automatic system. It just forms beliefs based on whatever input it gets the most. And that's exactly why we can get stuck in these negative cycles without even realizing how they started. Okay, so if our brain automatically cooks up these beliefs based on old data, are we just stuck with them forever? Absolutely not. There is a path to change. There is a way to consciously step in, neutralize those negative thoughts, and totally rewrite the script. Now, there are plenty of modern methods for this, like meditation or hypnosis, but there's also something called the ancient path. This idea suggests that changing your mindset means interacting with the world in new ways, whether that's understanding fate, creating luck, using feng shui to harmonize your space, or practicing charity to shift your focus. And while all of these are deep, one of them stands out as the most direct and powerful tool we can all use. And that tool is learning. So why learning? Because it directly interrupts the brain's automatic process.
When you choose to learn something new, you are consciously feeding your brain new information, new experiences, new data. You're actively updating that internal reference library. And this gives your brain new positive data to pull from, which starts a whole new chain reaction, one that you control.
So we end up right back where we started, but with a whole new sense of power. The chain reaction from thoughts to destiny is real, for sure, but it is not a prison. Learning is the key that lets you consciously step into that process. It empowers you to feed your mind the thoughts that will build the destiny you actually want. Which leaves us with one final and really crucial question. What will you choose to learn today?